You know that moment when you're looking at a menu or your phone and you find yourself doing this, stretching your arm out just a little bit farther than you used to? It's that funny, kind of weird moment where you realize, hey, my arms just aren't long enough anymore. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, trust me, you're not imagining things. So let's get into what's really going on. And what about your phone? Are you in that constant tug of war with the font size? Constantly pinching and zooming just to read a text? If you're nodding along right now, you are definitely not alone. This is, for so many of us, one of the very first signs that our eyes are going through a totally natural, totally normal change. Well, there's a name for this condition. It's called presbyopia. And it's really important to know this is not a disease. It's just a normal part of getting older that pretty much affects everyone, usually kicking in sometime after age 40. It all boils down to one thing: the lens inside your eye losing some of that awesome flexibility it had when you were younger. So all these little struggles, they all point to the same thing. Let's call it the arm's length problem. Okay, so let's see. Do any of these sound familiar? Blurry vision when you try to read something at a normal distance? That's a big one. Or, like we said, instinctively holding things farther away just to get them in focus. A lot of people also find they suddenly need way more light to read, or they start getting headaches and eye strain after doing close-up work for a while. And, it often feels even worse when you're tired or stressed out. All right, so what is actually happening inside your eyes to cause all this? Let's take a closer look, literally. See, when you're young, the natural lens inside your eye is really soft and flexible. When you look at something up close, these tiny little muscles around it go to work, and the lens actually bulges and changes shape to focus the light just right. You can see right here how it gets thicker. This whole process is called accommodation. But as the years go by, that lens, it just naturally gets a bit harder, a little less elastic. It just can't change shape as easily as it used to. And that, right there, is the root cause of presbyopia. The muscles are still trying to do their job, but the lens just isn't responding with that same springy flexibility. Here's a really great way to think about it. It's like a camera's autofocus feature. When you're in your 20s, it's instant, it's seamless, snap. But by the time you're in your 40s or 50s, that autofocus system starts to lag a little. It struggles, it hunts around trying to lock on to the target. Sound familiar? Now, if this is all starting to sound way too familiar, I want you to know you are so far from alone. This is a truly universal experience, and honestly, the numbers are pretty staggering. Just how not alone are you? Well, check out this number. Back in 2005, it was estimated that over 1 billion people worldwide had presbyopia. 1 billion. And with populations getting older all over the globe, that number is just going to keep climbing. The real takeaway here is, if you're experiencing this, you are in very, very good company. Okay, 1 billion is a huge number, but let's bring it back home to the US. Some really interesting data shows that about 1 in every 8 adults over the age of 50 has some kind of near vision impairment. So yeah, look around. It's happening to a lot of us. But here's something really important the study found. While presbyopia is pretty much a biological guarantee for everyone, its impact isn't felt equally by everyone. Higher rates of impairment are linked to a bunch of demographic and socioeconomic factors. And this suggests that things like having access to regular eye care, good insurance, and just being able to afford glasses, well, that plays a huge role in who suffers the most. Okay, so we've talked about the problem, but here's the great news. This is a totally fixable condition. So let's talk about the solutions, starting with the most common one, choosing the right pair of glasses. For a long, long time, the main solution was bifocals. You've seen them. They have that really obvious line that separates 2 different prescriptions. But today, we have something way more advanced: progressive lenses, also known as PALs. These are amazing because they offer a smooth, totally invisible gradient of power that covers everything from seeing far away to that tricky middle distance, like a computer screen, all the way to reading up close. So which one is actually better in the real world? Well, a study gives us some pretty mind-blowing answers. Let's look at computer use, that intermediate vision. An incredible 80% of people wearing bifocals said they never had clear vision for this. Never. Now look at the progressive lens users. Almost 60% of them said they always had clear vision. I mean, that is just a night and day difference. And it's not just at the computer. The difference is just as dramatic when you're doing something dynamic, like driving. 58% of bifocal users said they always had a hard time driving with their glasses on. But for the PAL users, over 60% reported never having that problem. That seamless transition in progressive lenses really gives you a major advantage in everyday life.
But what if you're just done with glasses altogether? You're tired of them, you lose them, you sit on them. Is there a more permanent fix out there?
Well, yes, there is. It's called lens replacement surgery, and it's a real game changer. This is a procedure with a super high success rate. We're talking 95%, where a surgeon permanently replaces your eye's old, hardened lens with a sophisticated artificial one. It's called an intraocular lens, or IOL. And I know eye surgery can sound a little intimidating, but the procedure itself is incredible. It basically breaks down into 4 quick steps. First, a tiny incision. Then, gentle ultrasound breaks up that old inflexible lens. Those little bits are suctioned out. And finally, the new folded-up artificial lens is slipped in and it just unfolds right into place. The whole thing is often done in less than 30 minutes.
And these little things right here, these are the marvels of medical tech that make it all happen. These artificial lenses are designed to last for the rest of your life. And here's a huge bonus, because your natural lens is gone, this surgery also means you can never get cataracts later in life. So it's actually 2 solutions in one. Pretty cool, right?
So whether you choose glasses, contacts, or surgery, taking care of your eyes is a lifelong thing, right? So let's wrap this up with a simple but really effective action plan to keep your eyes as healthy as possible. These are some really simple habits you can build into your life starting today. For all that screen time, use the 20-20-20 rule. It's easy. Every 20 minutes, just look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. Eat lots of foods with eye-healthy nutrients. Always wear good sunglasses that block UV rays. Make sure you have good lighting when you read, and this one is critical. Get regular, comprehensive eye exams. Little things like this can make a huge difference over time.
So the big takeaway here is that our vision isn't set in stone. It's a dynamic part of who we are, and it evolves as we do. Presbyopia isn't some kind of dead end. It's just the next chapter. And the question really is, how are you going to choose to read it?